Hi, everybody, and welcome to Module 6. I'm really excited to get started on this module. You'll notice that this module is going to be a little bit different, as most of you did select a group during week 5, and you have been assigned to that group. And then for those of you that did not select a group, you were assigned randomly, and you'll see an announcement about which group you belong to, but you can also figure that out by clicking on the People tab. So the first thing you should do to navigate this week is to go back to the course orientation module, and you're going to want to take a look at that section that says instructions on group teamwork for students. So we're going to be working in groups as teams for the next 2 weeks. And you'll be working with the same group of people in Module 6 and Module 7, but you'll be just changing what you're discussing. So you'll be completing a press release. I'll go into a little bit more detail on that later, and you'll be completing that as a group. You'll be posting that press release, and then during week 7, you're going to be evaluating another group's press release. That's kind of just the overview of what we'll be doing. So don't worry if your classmates don't participate in the group assignment. Sometimes some people check in late, or you find that they're not participating and get concerned, but your grade is going to be based on a self-evaluation of your own individual work. It's not going to be a group-based grade. So even if they're not participating, that's not going to be reflected in your grade. Your grade is only dependent on the work that you do. And that self-evaluation form can be found in Module 7 if you wanted to look ahead at that. So after you've reviewed the group information under the course orientation section, that'll tell you how to find your group, who's in your group, and how to go about getting started. Why don't you go ahead and click on the modules link on the left-hand side of your screen and scroll down to Module 6 so we can get into greater detail about what you'll be doing and how you'll be completing this assignment. So go ahead and click on Module 6 Learning Pathway. That's always the place to get started. And you'll notice that we're going to be thinking about facts during an ethical pandemic. So some students have asked me if you can discuss COVID during a press release, and that's just fine, or you can make up an imaginary or hypothetical situation. I can take both of those different types of press releases. So you'll also notice there's some required reading for the week in your professional ethics toolkit, pages 126 through 145, and you want to complete that before you dive into the group work. So if you scroll down a little bit further, you'll notice that you get an introduction to the case study, and then you're going to begin posting on Tuesday. So that's a little bit different than in previous weeks when we've posted on Thursday. So you're not going to be penalized if you don't post on Tuesday. It's not that the initial post is due on Tuesday. It's just that you want to begin working with your group early in the week because everyone's on a different schedule and they may not be able to log in at the same time as you. So we want to get kind of an early start. And so go ahead and click on the link Introduction to the Case Study. Let's take a look at that. So here we're talking about the coronavirus emerged in China and how the US state governments faced this dilemma. And it gives you an overview of what you'll be looking at. And notice also, if you scroll down, that you'll return to Myers now and read through his different steps, his 7 different steps that you looked at in previous models. So you can use that as a guide to determine what kind of steps you want to take. and that will help you put together your press release. You'll notice that it gives you some instructions here for Module 6 and Module 7. So just take a look at what's happening in Module 7 before you proceed, and you will be heading in the right direction. Go ahead and click on that Next button, and that's going to take you to the group case study, A Dilemma of Pandemic Proportions. And so you're going to be determining the facts and writing the press release. And so I will have assigned you, or you will have chosen one of these three groups: public health, economic health, or civil liberties. And you can click on each of these buttons to see what the various topics are about, or how you might approach each one a little bit differently. And for those of you that did post during week 5, you probably have already reviewed these. You can review them again. And for those of you that didn't and you missed this step, you can go ahead and review them now. Then we'll click on the Next button to take us to the next steps, and you'll find that this is where you will be making your recommendation. So this is the discussion of the group area where you will be posting. You will not see your specific group until I assign them on Monday morning. So if you looked ahead, you won't see your group quite yet, but I will be assigning them on Monday morning. And you'll notice in this section that it gives you instructions on what you should do, on how you should approach the group work. And I'll also be posting an announcement on that a little bit later in the week. So then after you have finished putting together the press release, you will elect one person to post that press release. And if you could label the group that you're in when you do that posting, it'll be helpful for myself and the other students to determine if it's the economic press release, the health, public health press release, or the civil liberties press release, because that sometimes isn't obvious if you don't label that. So you'll notice also that you're going to be talking as a group and assigning each, you'll be not assigning tasks, but you'll be electing to do a particular task or part of the group work. So you'll have someone who's going to track the facts and get a consensus, someone who's going to lead the group to consensus, someone who is going to help to resolve conflicts, someone who might take some notes, etc. So you'll each play a different role in what you're doing after you post the initial information and provide that initial post. All right, you can go ahead and one thing that I want to make clear, and I'll be posting an announcement about this also later in the week, is that all of this group work should be done on the group work discussion board that's already provided for you. So you don't want to create a new discussion board. There's one there, and creating a second one will cause some confusion because some students would post on one discussion board, some would post on another, and that won't allow you to merge your ideas. The other thing to keep in mind is that you should not set up any kind of Zoom meetings or email each other back and forth. And the reason for that is because not everybody is on the same schedule. So setting up a Zoom meeting for some members of the group might work, but not for others. And so that doesn't allow them to participate fully. And then also that will, help me to see the group work if I'm looking at the discussion board. If you set up a Zoom meeting or you're emailing each other privately, I won't be able to see what you're doing and make sure you're heading in the right direction. So those are just a few things to keep in mind this week while you're crafting your press release. Now, after it's crafted, if you hit that Next button, you'll see Module 6.4, and this is where you would post your proposed press release. And like I said, you will elect only one member of your group to post your press release, and this will be due on Sunday night. And so I should only see 3 press releases in this discussion area: the economics, the public health, and the civil liberties. And then moving forward, that would be all that we're going to be doing for Module 6. There isn't any smart art to do or anything else to participate in. Like I said, you can look ahead to Module 7 if you wanted to see what the self-evaluation form is going to look like and how you're going to be judging yourself on the group work. So if you have any questions during the week about the group work, please reach out to me. I know it can be a little confusing. These next 2 weeks are going to be a little bit different. So I'm here to help and guide you through this process. And you'll see me posting a little bit in the group, just acknowledging some things and making some suggestions. So I'll just sort of be lurking in there, but not really, giving a bunch of feedback or anything like that. I hope you enjoy this group work. Most students report that they really like this because it allows them to get closer with their classmates and have a better understanding of multiple perspectives. So have a great week.